In this video, I'm going to explain how we can create the variables and tuples for a program which will ask the user which verse they would like to see of the song 10 Green Bottles, and then it will print the appropriate verse. So for example, if the user enters 1, then they will get the first verse, which you can see on the screen. If the user enters 10, they will get the final verse, 1 green bottle. Now, to start with, we want to think about how we can break the song into parts. So let's think about which parts stay the same. So for example, the number is definitely going to change each time. We can probably take green here and store it as a separate string variable. Bottles is going to be different because if you look at the last verse, it's actually got to be singular rather than plural. So bottles, we can probably store that separately as a tuple with 2 data items. It'll have bottle and bottles. Then we can store hanging on the wall as a string, as a separate string like green. So it'll be another variable. And we can actually just multiply line 1 for each verse because you can see it's exactly the same. So that will make our program more efficient. And then this section, in 1 green bottle, blah, blah, that stays exactly the same every verse. So that can be our third string variable. Okay, so let's go into the program now. And we can see here, we want to start with a variable called verse equals integer, meaning number, input. So what this means is we're going to allow the person who's running the program to enter a number. And I'll just copy and paste to make things a little quicker. We're going to ask them, which verse would you like? Okay, then we're going to have 3 different string variables, as I mentioned earlier. We can call them bottle 1, and I'll copy and paste to get the other ones. We can call the next one bottle 2, and the third one bottle 3. Okay, now if you check back here, bottle 1 is simply going to have one word, which is green. Okay, so we can take green and paste it in. Okay, over here, or type it. And bottle 2, if we check, needs to be hanging on the wall. Okay, so we'll put the second string hanging on the wall. And bottle 3 will be this section. And if 1 green bottle should accidentally fall, vel b, that's our next, going to be our final string. Okay, and then we need to go down here to create a plural. Now, why do we need a tuple for plural? Because we need to alternate between bottle, which happened in the last verse, and bottles, which happens in all the other verses. So we can go back here and we can enter 2 different words here. So plural equals bottle and bottles, and we can select the appropriate one. Finally, we want to create a collection of numbers or integers. So I'll just copy and paste to save a bit of time. So we need this to count down. It's important it counts down because, of course, the first verse starts at 10. Even though it's called verse 1, it starts at 10. So we want to use this to ensure that even though we're going to be printing the first verse, we start with 10 rather than the other way around, which is not the correct way to sing 10 green bottles.